Today, I'm going to go over some random but useful tips for the range combat style. I am Wings of Absurdity, a range content creator. Let's begin. Let's start with solid foods. You've probably heard about the blubber jellyfishes since they don't consume any adrenaline when you eat them, whereas solid foods will still consume 3% adrenaline when you eat them. The one thing I never liked about blubber jellyfishes compared to solids is that they don't heal that much. But there is a small trick you can do with solid foods as a ranger. When you're using Imbue Shadow with Rapid Fire, you'll often hit 100% adrenaline during the channel. If you desperately need to heal, instead of consuming blubber jellyfish, you can actually eat a solid during rapid fire. Your adrenaline will briefly drop to 97% and then immediately jump back up to 100%. It basically feels like that you didn't lose any adrenaline at all. In that situation, I'd rather heal over 2,000 life points than only 500 to 750 from a blubber jellyfish. Since we're talking about rapid fire, this leads into the next tip. Think of rapid fire as free thinking time. You can also spawn a Dreadnought for some extra damage without consuming a GCD, drink a spiritual prayer or summoning flask, and juice Ripper Demon Scrolls, or even pre-equipping an Essence of Finality if you see my special attack guide. You've probably seen people use a global cooldown to heal a Hellhound with the Prism. For me, during rapid fire, I'm personally more of a fan of manually using the Hellhound scrolls, which does not interrupt your channeling. The main idea with this tip is that you use the rapid fire window to do extra actions that don't cancel your rapid fire. When I was doing Master Timer and Masket, for example, I can actually throw scarabs while using rapid fire on the mage. Surely in endgame bossing situations, Rearrangers uses a lot of Essence of Finality. You've also probably heard of the Blood Amulet of Fury, but have you heard of the Farsight Sniper Necklace? You combine that with a Saradomin's Murmur and a Chaotic Remnant from the Legendary Shop, and then use a Blood Necklace Shard from Edemu to get a Blood style effect on a ranged necklace. What makes this interesting is that multi-hitting abilities can proc the effect multiple times, so with something like Greater Ricochet, you're getting multiple instances of typeless damage. For Slayer or content where you're not using EoFs, this can be surprisingly useful. In some cases, the passive healing alone is enough to keep you alive without needing Soul Split or food. Now for Deathspore arrows, you've probably been in a situation where you fully build your Deathspore stacks, but Death Swiftness still has over 10 seconds of cooldown, which means your stacks are gonna go to waste on something else. The one way to salvage this situation is to spend the stacks on Natural Instinct. Natural Instinct doubles the adrenaline gain from basics. It's definitely not the most optimal thing to do, but at least you're getting value out of it instead of wasting them completely. After that, you can still use Death Swiftness if you're using Ring of Vigor passive, Conservation of the Energy Relic, and Fury of the Small. You actually only need one basic before you can use Imbue Shadow. Without those, it's two basics. Again, not perfect, but definitely better than wasting your Deathspores on something else. The Pernix Quiver unlocks these two abilities that lets you switch ammo in it. I've developed a weird habit of placing them in a reverse direction in my action bar. So the second ability is on the left and the first one's on the right. First, I usually memorize the positioning of my arrows. For example, this quiver has Wen and Ful. Wen's on the left and Ful on the right. When I'm using Ful arrows, the right side of the ability is not grayed out. If I'm using Wen, the left side is not grayed out. When I click the switch, it glows in the same position as the quiver. Though, to be honest, I just hover the quiver now. Last but not least, in the early game or back in the day, surely you used a Sirenic Mask before. This is an item that degrades to dust and cannot be repaired. If your Ceramic Mask is close to degrading to dust, it's better to not let it degrade completely. Instead, if it's close to like 0.1% or less than 1%, you can just high alch it for 300k GP and at least get something back. If you find any of these random tips useful, feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.